Did Lorraine get married back in?
Lorraine married
Charlie.
Charlie Nelson.
And that was in Missouri too?
That was in Missouri, yeah.
And did Dewey and Lonita get married?
Lonita and Dewey got married, I think, if I remember right, Lonita was 17 and Dewey was just a little year older, right in the heart of Depression. It's hard to imagine that they came through and did as well as they really did.
Well, when Dewey and Lonita got married, did that then leave? Did he leave? He didn't work with you anymore, or did he work with you?
No, he married. Him and Lonita moved to a little town called Kaplinger, Missouri, which they had he helped a fellow on a farm that had a big farm, and Dewey worked for him. And I think they had their first baby there, Janice. Kaplinger Mill still exists, and they had a dam there that run a flour mill. I mean, and the old gear is still there. Last time I went.
Why'd you go to California?
The time came, and this was 1937, that there was absolutely, and the drought had been going on for several years, and there was so many people couldn't even pay their taxes on their farms, and nobody wanted them. Nobody was eager to take them over for the money they owed, because there was absolutely nothing there. If I remember right, Dad sent a big cow to Kansas City, and I think he got $1 something after paying the trucking bill, $1.50, something like that. So
what would you normally get?
Well,
would you,
on today's prices, you would get $600 for that cow.
But when what was he expecting to get? Do you think 25, 30?
Up to 20.
$20? Yeah. Boy. Okay.
People work for $1 a day.
Right.
If you could get a job on WPA, which was state-operated relief, they did a lot of good. They built a lot of roads, and you were lucky. You would probably get maybe $1.50, $2 a day. But you probably get a sack of flour, 50-pound sack of flour, for a couple of dollars too. But far as any money changing hands, it was more of a, you give me this.
Trading, bartering.
You could take your wheat to any little town where they had mills, they call them grist mills, and they would take a third. And they could always sell it, because people were always buying flour from them. You know.
So you decided at that point, Grandpa decided to had to leave? Or?
There was absolutely no no hope to live under those conditions, because we had been under them so long, and about the only time that you could even afford to buy anything as far as clothes and stuff like this would be during the winter, when us boys would go out and catch fur and sell it. That was the only thing that was tangible for us to get our hold of.
While we're on the fur, I remember Becky's dad did furring, and you probably touched base with him, possibly might have even ran into him, or at the same time they did furring in the same part of the country, did they not?
My dad bought fur for the Fort Scott Hide and Fur Company, Fort Scott, Kansas, and Becky's dad, I think, lived down in Cassville, or in that area, and him and his brother I forget. He told me how many traps that he had, but it was up at, I think, 100 traps that they would set. Him and his brother would run those traps. And possums, you could probably get 80, 90 cents for a good fur. Skunks, you could get $1.25. But raccoons, I think up to $5. And minks were up to $8, $10. So if you were lucky, you know, you could make, when a pair of overalls cost under $1, you could get your clothes. And I tell you, I wonder if sometimes the kids were happier then than they are now, because they appreciated what they had, so what they could get.
So going on from the furs, was there someone in California that made you go to California versus Washington first, or Oregon, or any place else?
At that time, I suppose you look back on the old covered wagon days, and we had more communication than they had. The word was living conditions in California was
just general from people who had gone and sent more letters back or things of that nature?
Oh yeah. At that time, people had been going quite a ways. People had started to travel extensively, and not as nearly like today. In 1937, we had no money to even buy gas to go to California, and we knew a family that lived in El Dorado. His sister lived in Lindsay, California, and they had been communication, and he says to Dad that he would pay for the gas and go out and see what it was like.
Remember his name?
Olin Butler.
Oh, okay.
Olin Butler. So I was 16, Joe was 17, and had a 1936 Chevrolet pickup, and we built a back over the, made kind of a cover for the back, and we headed there. No problems. And I got there and then started working. There's lots of things happened here I hate to put on tape because the situation that Dad had to go back in order to take care of some business, and so it left me and my brother there with the old pickup in Lindsay, California. And we were sending money home to pick up anything that was outstanding so bad that try to get us in a place where we can live comfortable.
And so you two were both working out in the fields, is that?
We worked in grapes.
In grapes at that time, okay.
And I can remember going, went through 2 years of high school, and it was mandatory that you go to school in California, and I can remember yet the people from the